So what is going on, guys? I've got a relatively short but interesting video for you today relating to the Star Wars game, which of course is being made by Amy Hennig, of course the ex-Naughty Dog employee, and over at Visceral Games, which of course is owned by EA. Now, earlier today, EA had a shareholders meeting, which was basically where they announced what games are coming over the next few years, over the next few months, and they kind of pitched that to the shareholders who, of course, invest in their company. But from that meeting, we got some information about, obviously, EA's plans for the next few years or so, and we got to hear about what Amy Hennig's Star Wars game is looking like, or when it's going to be released, of course. And it's kind of annoying that we've seen pretty much nothing of this game. In fact, I was expecting this game to be actually announced at E3 this year from EA, although EA are actually holding a different event now called EA Play, but that's a separate topic, of course. But, you know, I'd expect it to be announced this year. However, according to EA, it's not going to be a few years until we see this game. I'm assuming that's when it's released, but, you know, it'll be probably about a year before it's released when we see the announcement. So it'll probably be quite a while before we see this game announced. Now, let's look at kind of what they have actually said about it. So they say, we are obviously announcing that we are investing in some action-based SKUs by bringing people like Jade Raymond and Amy Hennig into our organisation to help build those. And they say that they are obviously a few years out in our SKU plan. So that shows, therefore, that both of those games developed by those two separate developers are not actually going to be coming out for a few years, which is kind of annoying because everyone's kind of been looking forward to what Amy Hennig is going to be doing next, of course. You know, renowned for making the Uncharted series, of course, over at Naughty Dog, and obviously there was that leaving of the company in 2014. She went straight to Visceral Games. I think it was within a week she'd been hired at Visceral Games to make this Star Wars game, and Todd Stashwick, of course, who was on the Uncharted 4 project, moved along with her and to make that game. I think they're both writing that game, or probably have written it at this point. And yeah, that game's now being made at Visceral, of course. And yeah, as I said before, I was expecting this game to be announced some point in this year, I thought, and maybe it won't be, and maybe EA completely kind of, you know, taking us down the wrong road or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. They're pretty much saying like, oh yeah, it's not coming out for a few years, but then they might go and announce it, of course. They did that with Mass Effect Andromeda. I think that was announced a couple of years ago. I could be completely wrong about that. It might have been last year. But, you know, they've announced it within a big kind of time period of when it's actually been released. And so maybe they might do the same with this Star Wars game. But I've been looking forward to this Star Wars game for quite a while, actually, as soon as it was announced, pretty much. Because not only has it got Amy Hennig behind it, who is one of the great masterminds in gaming, like kind of writing, but also because it's obviously Star Wars, which is one of my favourite film franchises. So mixing those two things together sounds awesome, and it's going to be an Uncharted style Star Wars game. To me, that sounds fantastic. It's going to have a great story, probably, if it's been written by Amy Hennig. And so I've looked forward to this game for quite a while. And when this game finally gets announced, and when we finally get to see what it's like, I'm expecting it to be some kind of third-person game. It might be first-person, might be third-person, but I'm expecting it to be third-person, if I'm honest. It will be awesome to see what that game is going to look like, and how it's going to play out, and how the story's going to be. Oh, this game's going to be absolutely insane. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. It's just that Amy Hennig's Star Wars game is, of course, still in development, but it's going to be a few years out, according to EA, of course. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on this topic, of course. Also, let me know if you're actually excited for this game, if you're actually a big fan of Star Wars, big fan of Amy Hennig, of course. If you're massive fans of Naughty Dog, then you probably are. But yeah, let me know that in the comments, of course. But yeah, like the video if you liked it, of course, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.